Well, it's that time again to call out Channel 1. And yes, I'm finally in sync today, because I have honestly been disgusted again with this TV station and the fact that there was almost a shooting at Long Island Jewish Hospital yesterday. Yeah, you cannot make this stuff up. I mean, literally, I'm calling my new supervisor, letting her know that I'm coming back to work in March. Which I'm not going to say what date in March, because the last thing I need is for anything to happen. Which I keep low-key to people who I trust the most. But, yeah, funny enough, I literally give her a call right before noon, and then later on, the incident happened. So we're going to read what happened from AM New York in just a second, because at least they had an article on it. But take a look at this. I mean, you got the Wicked Witch of Buffalo, which we're going to get into later on. Now, I will give them credit. At least they did spend 2 minutes talking about the stabbing on the subway, which we are going to get to that at the very end of this video, because the last thing I need is to just go on to that right now, because I'm mostly focused on what happened yesterday at Cohens Hospital. And by the way, I will mention the Queen's Courier didn't even have anything about it. So you have to go on AM New York's website just to find it. Well, this is breaking news. I'll have to read that before we even get to the subway part. Yeah, I will have to read that. That's major breaking news. New York will not require booster shots for healthcare workers by next week. Wow, that's interesting. I just gave my proof of vaccination to Osnum and Northwell this week. Funny enough. Okay, so let's get into it. Obviously, you know they're going to talk about Eric Adams in the papers. And, let's just take a look at Queens. Again, go to Queens, and anything in Queens is mentioned about it. Anything in Queens? No. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to read from AM New York. Where is it? I thought I had that article. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, because we'll read the AM New York article on the L train shooting again at the very end of this video. Alright, so here we go. Oh, come on. Heavily armed man arrested in Queens after threatening to shoot up a children's hospital, according to sources from the 105 precinct. Okay, here we go. A 34-year-old man was arrested who threatened to cause deadly harm at a children's hospital in Queens. So here we go. 105 precinct responded to a call on February 17th reporting a man threatened to unleash gunfire within Cohens Children's Medical Center at 269-01 76th Avenue in Glen at about 12:10 p.m. on February 17th. Upon arriving at the scene, officers from the 105 precinct encountered a man matching a dispatch description of the perpetrator, identified as Thomas Saxton, outside of the hospital in his vehicle alongside multiple firearms. So, I'm just going to say this. What happened was, and I found out more details later on, was security for Northwell Health actually did see the man threatening to use a firearm inside the lobby of the children's hospital. So, I know this for a fact. They're in constant contact with 105 precinct if something is about to go down. So, they're in constant contact. They know each other very, very well. The resources that both Northwell has, and then you have the NYPD 105 precinct. Authorities said Saxton allegedly had 2 ghost guns in his possession. Police then obtained and later executed a search warrant of his Nassau County residence, where they found a small arsenal of very heavy firepower. Law enforcement sources said police found within Saxton's house 9 ghost handguns, 4 shotguns, 2 rifles, 2 bulletproof vests, 50 extended magazines, and 1,000 rounds of ammunition. There were other gun parts and accessories recovered. Saxton was taken into custody at Long Island Jewish Hospital without incident. He was subsequently charged with 6 counts of criminal possession of a weapon, criminal possession of ammunition, menacing, harassment, criminal possession of a controlled substance, and unlawful possession of marijuana. Also, I can't confirm this. I did hear from my security sources at Long Island Jewish. Saxton was also issued a trespassing warrant, meaning if he were to ever enter hospital grounds again, he will be arrested just for that. So trust me, again, I have my sources because I've been with the hospital for 7 years now. So that I am allowed to disclose because, again, this information's basically out there to the public. I mean, there's no HIPAA rules being violated. This guy walked into the hospital with a gun. So, of course, you got ghost guns. But again, we don't know if this guy was let out with cash bail. We don't know if this guy has any prior arrest prior to this incident that happened yesterday. So, I hate to say it, but if I'm Mike Dowling, I would seriously consider making a statement and calling on the repeal of the bail reform law. Because, you know, bottom line is, how are we supposed to feel safe in the hospital if, for crying out loud, this man would have made national headlines yesterday? You know how unfortunate this would have been? The whole hospital would have had to have been evacuated. And obviously, if I was there, God forbid, you know, I probably would have to be locked inside with my supervisor or something. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, yesterday, I was mad about it, but thinking about, you know, how I could have it much worse. How I could have it much worse. Okay, I'm literally right by the hospital. And I was considering transferring to Lenox Hill. Alright? Here's the problem. If I go to Lenox Hill, I have to take the subway. And do I really want a longer commute to the Upper East Side? Which I'm very familiar with it because I go to Central Park. But no, I don't want to be in this area where it's going to be a lot difficult to get home from work. And in most cases, more expensive. Alright, so let's take a look and I'll show you the outside of the entrance. I know Google Street Maps was there a while ago. So I'll basically show you where the hospital is, if we can pull it up. Because it is on 269th Street. Yeah, right around here. Right around here. So this is the entrance of Cohens Children's right here. And we'll zoom in and we'll get you an idea of what it looks like from the sign here. And this is, of course, where the pediatric emergency room is. And it's laid out in an interesting way. And they're not going to show you. Yeah, this is what I was trying to look for. That statue. Now, a long time ago, this used to be a different look to it. In fact, yeah, a long time ago, this is what the sign looked like when I first started. Let's see, can we find a 2015 view? It's somewhere around here. When I first started. Yeah, somewhere like that. Yeah, I remember this sign. Oh, man, this is nostalgia right here. When this was first North Shore, when I first began in 2015. Oh, man. But, you know, this is what goes on. This is what's going on. And does this surprise me that this happened? Not really. No, because, again, it's New Hyde Park. So you know they're going to dump the problems in New Hyde Park. Now, if this was, let's say, Situate Hospital or LIJ Valley Stream. Yeah, here we go. Here's South Shore Hospital in Rockville Center. Right here. And the alarming thing was, Statuary Hospital, as I like to call it, look, this is literally where the accident happened, when that tanker got involved, which, if you want to watch more information about the tanker incident, just go watch PinePowerLI's video. I'll link that in the description below, because I really do not want to focus all my time and energy on that. It's a Long Island issue. So let me just see if I can go back to the AM New York article. I'm going to close this out. And I want to go to the New York Post article, because they mention something very interesting about the owner of the New York Mets. Right here. Yeah, see that? The New York Post wasn't even... Did they give the details about the trespassing warrant? I bet they didn't. Yeah, they didn't even mention that. I mean, that's a very important missing detail. He was issued a trespassing warrant. Again, I'm only allowed to say that because, again, security has his face in their office pretty well stored in their computer system. So, if they see him on premises, things are going to go down. Right? So it says here, Cohens Children's Medical was formerly known as Schneider Children's Hospital when New York Mets owner Steve Cohen and his wife made a $50 million endowment. So, obviously, I'm sure Steve Cohen was disturbed about this. And not to mention, next week, he's actually going to be meeting with all the Major League Baseball owners to end that dumb lockout, which now they're saying spring training's not even going to happen until March. Okay, so that happened. I'm trying to look for... Yeah, here we go. This is what I'm looking for.
At a children's hospital, police say 34-year-old Thomas Saxton made threats toward Cohen Children's Medical Center.
So Channel 7 did cover it. That's what I was looking for. And then here's Channel 2.
Police say threatened to shoot. Investigators say 34-year-old Thomas Saxton had several ghost handguns. Magazines at 1,000 rounds of ammunition.
Yeah, so I don't even want to play any more of that. Okay, so now I want to go to next. By the way, News 12 and I will mention Newsday didn't even cover it. So I'm going to read this article next because this is very important. So I remember when this first happened back in 2018. So let me read this. Security guards who qualify will now be carrying guns within Northwell Health, which is the largest hospital system in New York. The big change to security protocol comes amid concerns over recent mass shootings. Vincent Folletti, a retired police officer from the Bronx, who is one of the newly recent officers who will now be carrying gun inside North Shore University Hospital in Manhasset. I felt we were at a disadvantage, and this was only a matter of time before we would be armed. Okay, so it says here this is a pilot program. And of course, again, I know this for a fact. Officers are armed at Long Island Jewish. So if this guy did attempt to open fire yesterday, security would have been on point. And you know 105 Precinct would have came right away either way. Oh, look at that. I didn't even realize this happened back in 2016. Southside Hospital. Yeah. Believe it or not, I think this is a Northwell property. Oh, okay, yeah, I know South Shore. That's Staten Island. But the South Shore I care about is the one in Rockville Center. So, here we go. Executive Director John Tedek said, people said if we had somebody, God forbid, who's here firing a firearm, like what happened in the Bronx, especially with that shooting that happened 4 years ago, or the other shooting that happened in the lobby back in January of this year, a lot of questions started to be raised about what kind of approach to this. So here we go. It says here, Northwell emphasizes that any guard carrying a gun must be a former police officer and properly licensed. So again, with that being all said, Northwell security and I know this for a fact as well, some of these Northwell security guards actually used to be former NYPD cops and detectives. Believe it or not. So that doesn't surprise me why 105 Precinct quickly responded. So, I mean, this is why I'm going to say this right now. I'm very grateful to the security officers at Long Island Jewish Medical. I'm very grateful that in my building, for an example, we have somebody who does check for proof of vaccination, but they're also there for your safety. They're there so that way if something happens, you know, anybody, like, they change shifts. And I know this for a fact as well when I'm, you know, in my office. But I'm going to say this right now. I'm very, very grateful that this was a situation that was prevented. All because of the fine men and women who work security at Long Island Jewish Medical. And I know I'm in good hands. God forbid. At least there is an advantage. So, obviously, you know, there is a way to evacuate in terms of my office, which I don't want to get into, but we do have to move on. There is other news we got to get into, and I'm sorry if I've spent too much time on it, but you got to understand, all right, I've been with Northwell since 2015, and the last thing I wanted to hear about was that. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. So believe it or not, after Channel 7 brought that up last night, they actually spent 2 minutes covering this. Corona woman killed by a teenager driving a pickup truck on Northern Boulevard. A Corona woman was killed after she was struck by a pickup truck that had jumped the curb on Northern Boulevard. So this happened on Thursday evening, February 17th. So here we go. An allegedly unlicensed teenager who was behind the wheel of the car remained on the scene and spoke to the police but was not arrested. Here we go. So where in Northern Boulevard did this happen? So I didn't even mention where on Northern Boulevard did this happen. Oh, here we go. Yeah. 106-15 Northern Boulevard. 19-year-old Sarah Perez of 108th Street in Corona was walking in front of the building just before 5 p.m. The 16-year-old driver rammed into her, pinning the victim against the wall. Police from the 115th Precinct in Jackson Heights responded to a 911 call of a motor vehicle collision and discovered the woman unconscious and unresponsive. EMS took the victim to Elmhurst Hospital where she was pronounced dead. So here we go. So it says here the 16-year-old was going into an auto body shop at that location when the 2006 Ford F-10 pickup truck went on the sidewalk, striking the woman. There are no arrests. The Highway District Collision Investigation Squad is reporting, so this has to be a typo. Yeah, it's a Ford F-150. I know that pickup truck. I mean, really, the Queen's Courier really gets me so annoyed with their typos. It's ridiculous. Really? So thankfully, I know this address very well. Let's look it up. 106-15 Northern Boulevard. I know exactly where this is. Right on top of the Q66 bus route. Yep. There's the Q66 right there. Let's get a street view. So I can't tell if this is... Yeah, I think that's the auto body shop. Right here. Yep, that's it right there. That's the auto body shop. That's where the woman was pinned. Very, very unfortunate. I mean, she was only 19. And this is the second time that somebody has been pinned against the wall. Remember that 10-year-old that was pinned in Far Rockaway? My goodness. And Channel 1 doesn't even want to be bothered to cover it. Because you know what Channel 1 thinks. Oh, we don't care. We're Channel 1. Oh. Okay, so we're going to move on now. Here we go. Yeah, fatal shooting in Jackson Heights. Man, I mean, what is going on over there? I mean, I always complain about issues in Astoria, but Jackson Heights, why aren't I surprised about this? Oh, okay, so this is an update on what I read last week in Jackson Heights, so good. So they actually arrested 2 suspects. First suspect, Joseph Barona, 19, of Cedar Court Apartments, was charged with murder and other crimes when police cuffed 36-year-old Joe Donius of 74th Street, charged him with manslaughter and other crimes in the killing of 18-year-old Gregory Compost. So yeah, obviously we know what happened last week. There was a drug deal that went wrong in Jackson Heights. Wow, this is alarming. I mean, this is a kid that lived in Flushing. Wow. So obviously, we know one thing's for sure. Both suspects will be awaiting arraignment at Queens Criminal Court. And I am certainly hoping that District Attorney Melinda Katz will be asking for a full sentence here, because I think she definitely should. And then this happened. Robbery in Rego Park. Here we go. Designer purse and $200 in cash was stolen last weekend, February 12th, on Saturday. A 31-year-old woman was walking on Queens Boulevard near 63rd Avenue just past midnight. So right by the subway station, no surprise! When 2 men on a moped approached her from behind and forcibly took her $500 Prada purse and $200 in cash from her hand. The thieves then allegedly fled northwest on Northern Boulevard. Okay, here we go. The Rego Park thieves were later observed on a surveillance video at around 1:38 in the morning on Sunday, February 13th, trying to use the victim's credit card in a convenience store near Logan Street and Fulton Street in Brooklyn. Police said the first suspect was last seen wearing a black jacket, black gloves, and a black balaclava. The second suspect was last seen wearing a black jacket and a black balaclava. I have no idea what that even means. So here's a 10-second video. I believe this is from a bodega in Brooklyn. This video is obviously from Crime Stoppers. Okay, so we're going to get to that in just a second. I'm trying to look for the other crime I do have to get to before we talk about subway safety. Yeah, here it is. This is it right here. We're going to read the Spectrum News article. So we'll read this one. And then we will read this one. So I got 2 more I got to read. Oh, here's some good news. A 17-year-old minor was arrested in connection with the February 11th anti-Semitic assault that happened in Brooklyn last week. Man, I gotta say, maybe Eric Adams is starting to change light. I don't know. Maybe this is his turning point for him being the mayor for almost 2 months. Videos showed the alleged assailant getting out of the minivan on Avenue L between East 32nd and New York Avenue at around 11:35 p.m. last Friday evening, February 11th, and stopping a 22-year-old Jewish man across the face, knocking his yarmulke from his head. Alright, so here we go. Authorities said the assailant then ran back to the van, which was being driven by a second suspect who has not been identified. The teenager was charged with assault and committing a hate crime. Both suspects were caught on video in a nearby convenience store after the attack. And then there were other incidents. Wow, spray-painted yarmulkes on a yeshiva school bus in Williamsburg. I mean, really. Cops arrested a 15-year-old for allegedly attacking a man dressed in traditional Hasidic clothing in one of the February 4th incidents. So, this is ridiculous. I mean, what do these kids think that it's okay just to go after Hasidics? I mean, I'm just frankly disturbed about this. I mean, it's like they don't teach these kids anything about, you know, actions for your consequences. And this is what's going to happen. Okay, so where is the other story? Yeah, another stabbing in Brooklyn. Here we go. So where did this happen? 7:06 p.m. on February 17th, officers respond to a 911 call regarding an assault in progress at 641 Crown Street. Upon their arrival, police found a 45-year-old man with stab wound to his chest. Sadly, the victim was taken to Kings County Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The victim's identity is being withheld pending notification of the family and to comply with federal HIPAA. A 40-year-old man was taken into custody shortly following the incident. No charges have been announced this time, so... Another example of what you get in Crooklyn. But do you think this happens in Park Slope? Oh, no, it doesn't. No. Why should it happen in Park Slope? Oh, no. Yep, sorry, but you know how they're going to think in Park Slope. It doesn't affect us. Yeah, of course it's not going to affect you because you watch too much New York 1. Yeah, I bet you don't care about subway safety. Police seek knife-wielding man after Brooklyn-bound stabbing on the L train. 22-year-old man was stabbed in the leg after getting into a dispute with another man while riding the Brooklyn-bound L train on Thursday afternoon, February 17th. Officers in the 13th precinct responded to a report around 2 p.m. of a stabbing on the L train. According to police sources, the 22-year-old man got into a heated argument with another passenger in his 40s before the older man stabbed the victim in the leg. The suspect fled the train on 14th Street and 1st Avenue, where the victim remained on the subway car until Bedford Avenue, where he filed a report. He was taken to Bellevue Hospital, sustaining a non-life-threatening wound. So, very, very disturbing. Alphabet City, you do have a lot of performers. Okay, very, very alarming. And 1010 Wins mentioned that this guy was, of course, a performer, I think, if I'm correct. Let me see if they have something about it. Let's see. Gonna pull up 1010 Wins. Oh, and then look at this. Shooting in the Bronx. Other anti-Semitic hate crime. You know, I really should take a look into more of 1010 Wins articles. Okay, so 1010 Wins did have something about the shooting at the hospital. The almost shooting at the hospital. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. Breakdancer. So, the victim who was stabbed was a 22-year-old male breakdancer. So, again, with Alphabet City, you do have a lot of Broadway performers and off-Broadway performers who do live in Alphabet City. Which, that, again, doesn't surprise me, because they want to live right along the L line. So... Oh, and then look at this. 34-year-old plumber was forcibly removed from his van in Queens by a carjacker who fled in an unknown direction. The victim was sitting in his car on 87th Street and Northern Boulevard in Jackson Heights on January 31st at 10:18 p.m. when the suspect approached him, opened the van door, forcibly removed him from the vehicle, and hopped inside. Police took the suspect and fled the location of the victim's car in an unknown direction. The car was found later on Saturday, February 12th in an undisclosed location. It is unknown if any property was removed from the van. So, very disturbing. Another incident in Jackson Heights. Wow. I mean, what are they doing to my queens? What are they doing? Shooting in the leg. Yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, I think Channel 7 briefly brought this up. 4:10 p.m. on Thursday, February 10th, a suspect displayed a firearm near East Fordham Road and Webster Avenue in the Fordham Manor neighborhood. So here we go. Suspect then proceeded to discharge the firearm at a 15-year-old boy, striking him in the leg. The victim was taken to an area hospital in stable condition. So a lot going on. A lot going on as usual. And another hate crime. So I want to listen to this for a second.
We're here to help make your stop by
With anti-Semitic
showroom or book an appointment with one
Sorry
of the
about the
industry's
ads.
best appliance experts at ajmadison.com/showroom. That's ajmadison.com/showroom.
An Upper West Side restaurant has been vandalized with anti-Semitic messages. The owner of Miriam, Raphael Hasid, joining us live on Newsline. We thank you for being here. Sorry that we have to talk about this. These messages were spray painted. We cannot say on the radio what those messages said, but what was your reaction when you saw them?
First of all, thank you for having me. It makes me very sad, this type of people behavior, and knowing that people just like to spread hate and negative information. And
Again, it's just very alarming that I have to keep talking about all these anti-Semitic hate crimes. So apparently this restaurant just expanded from Park Slope, Brooklyn to the Upper West Side. And it says bleep Jews. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. You just can't. So I quickly want to read this article. So here we go. New York State health officials are abandoning a requirement that healthcare workers receive COVID-19 booster shots by February 21st to avoid potential staffing issues. State officials will reassess in 3 months whether there will be need for additional steps for increasing booster shots rates among healthcare workers. The initial requirement that healthcare workers could be vaccinated remains in effect. So, that's very, very interesting. I mean, this is very, very surprising to think that the mandate for the booster was supposed to start on Monday. So I really don't know how much of my coworkers have gotten the booster yet, but one thing's for sure, they had to get it. Otherwise, they would have gotten the pink slip. Anyhow, Channel 1 did cover the stabbing yesterday.
Police are looking for a man who stabbed a 22-year-old breakdancer in the...
Yeah, I'll show you. One minute, 51 seconds.
right thigh in an unprovoked attack on board the L train while it was in the First Avenue station at 14th Street. This video, posted on Citizens app, shows riders leaving the Brooklyn-bound train at the next stop at Bedford Avenue. It's the latest stabbing of a subway rider following 2 attacks earlier this year.
It's alarming. I mean, there's definitely the...
Of course it's alarming. And this is what I'm going to have to be afraid of when I take the F train next week. Not this upcoming week, but on the 1st. Alright? This is what I'm going to have to be afraid of. I have to use the Kew Garden Station next week. So lastly, let's get into this so-called plan that they want to talk about. New York City wants to deploy 30 joint response teams that bring together Department of Homeless Services, Department of Mental Health and Mental Hygiene, law enforcement, and community-based partners. So, pretty much Eric Adams is like, oh, if you're homeless, you shouldn't be sleeping on the subway. Yeah, but some of these people have gotten out on no cash bail before in the past. Right? These people shouldn't even be in the system. They should be in jail. So, with that, I mean, what else is there to say? It's the same old, and nothing's really changing. I mean, to think that there was almost a mass shooting at Long Island Jewish Hospital yesterday. Almost a shooting. But no. In order to live the good life, I have to go on 7th Avenue in Park Slope, or I have to go to 4th Avenue. No! Right? I don't want to be with you in Brooklyn. Right? Queens is my home. Right? No, I don't want to have to live in this area. But Park Slope may be the only fighting chance I have left to stay in New York City. Right? I don't want to have to move to Park Slope. I don't want to have to go through, looking for a new place to live, because it's looking like I may want to flee Queens as soon as possible. Because technically, this is the only livable area you have left in the entire city. Pretty much. Again, I don't want to move here. Alright? But you know what Kathy Hochul wants. You know what she wants for me to do. She wants me to go to Delaware. Yeah. She wants me to go to Delaware. Oh, by the time you move out, you may not even be able to let me out. Well, I don't know, Governor. I don't know. Yeah, in fact, where's the Welcome to Delaware sign? I don't even see it here. There's supposed to be a Welcome to Delaware sign on the Delaware Memorial Bridge, but I have no idea where it is. Hopefully this should be it. Yeah, this is where you want me to move, Governor. This is where you want me to move to. But hang on. Let me show you where she wants me to move to. Yeah, this area right here. Right? So basically, this governor wants me to move to Bear or Glasgow, where I was thinking of moving to, or maybe even Newark. Or maybe even Christiana. Right? This is what this governor wants. She's laughing. She is laughing. Right? I don't want to have to move down to Delaware either. But this is why I'm going to keep doing these videos, because the Wicked Witch, look at her. Kathy Hochul looks just like this woman. That's Kathy Hochul, the Wicked Witch of Buffalo. She's laughing. Move to Delaware. I don't want to. I'm not going down on a fight, Kathy Hochul. So you can laugh all you want. Laugh all you want. Try making me move to Delaware. It's not going to go down without a fight.